Apple knows they're pricing their stuff too high, and in 2019, we're going to see an Apple offer cheaper products. Relatively cheaper products. I'm Scott with Techno Eclipse. If you want to get the best and most passionate tech commentary, all you got to do is just take your right shoe off, take your right sock off, and lightly tap that subscribe button with your big toe. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Yeah, I have one of those. I never mention it. It'll be linked down in the description down below. So, why is Apple going to be reducing the price of their products in 2019? How do I know? Where are these facts to back up these claims? Let's get into it. So I saw recently, today in fact, that Apple has reduced the price of their newest MacBook Air, keeping in mind that this MacBook Air was released like 2 months ago. They've already reduced that by $200 on Amazon. You can get it for $9.99 plus shipping. I don't know if it actually, no, on Amazon there's probably no shipping. Plus tax? Does Amazon even charge tax? I don't know. I don't buy anything that expensive off Amazon. Probably not plus anything. So $200 is actually pretty good for Apple. They don't normally reduce the price on like anything. And we've also seen some other weird little quirky things. One of them is that Apple released an iPhone XR in 2018. It was a $750 phone. A budget phone in 2018, $750 only. For $750, you could buy so much other stuff. Let's not talk about that though. But they did reduce the price of the new MacBook Air by $200. What does this show me? This shows me that Apple kind of knows they're pricing themselves out of the market and that we might not see price increases in 2019. We've become sort of accustomed to companies just raising their prices year over year. But I think Apple has reached the point with $1,100 smartphones and $15,000 computers and is $1,200 as their cheapest entry-level MacBook computer, that we might actually see a whole new Apple this year, and we might see an Apple that actually kind of reduces their prices. Now, I know what you're saying, Scott, Apple is dumb and they never reduce their prices. But I think we've begun to see a little bit that Apple sort of knows they're pricing themselves out of the market. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, just the dumb Apple fans will buy the phone no matter what, da-da-da-da-da. No Apple fan and no person is that dumb. They won't just buy something just because it's new. It has to be better and it has to be worth it. And honestly, we've seen that the core audience of Apple likes the phone, obviously. But even like big fanboys are just going, I mean, it's the upgrade. It's bigger than last year's phone. So like there was no real feature. And I think Apple is starting to realize that they're pricing themselves just a little bit too high. Obviously, they're remaking the iPhone X. Obviously, they're going to be charging a lower price. Obviously, I just said obviously 4 times in a row, obviously. But it's kind of weird to see Apple offer a discount. Did they ever offer a discount on anything? But maybe I'm blowing this out of proportion. But I surmise from one tiny little thing that I saw, I'm going to blow this way out of proportion, a $200 discount, that they're going to be reducing all their prices in 2019. Not really, but I think we might see an Apple sort of ease off of the whole making your phones that much money, making your MacBooks that much money, making everything that much money. I know that Apple is expensive. Obviously, they charge $400 for a watch. Every single product that they released, in fact, was increased by about 20%. The Mac Mini from the previous Mac Mini was like increased by like 60. The new iPhones were increased by like 20-ish% if you look at the 8 and 8 Plus or compared to the XS and the XS Max. Apple is increasing their prices quite a bit this year, and I think they're starting to hit that threshold where people are like, that's too much money. I'm just going to either get last year's new thing or I'm just not going to buy it at all. Kind of a weird situation for Apple because I feel like every time they release something, it's normally good enough to justify the price, which is normally a lot of money. But I think we're beginning to see people sort of be like, yeah, I mean, it's new, but it's like, what does it offer me? Like, what does it offer me in general? Is it worth $1,200, $1,100, $1,000, $1,500, whatever the product is? Is it worth that much money? Probably not. And I think consumers are really smart. They're not dumb. The market is dictated by the consumers. Sometimes they do dumb things. People might think that they're dumb. But consumers aren't normally that dumb. They're not blind. They spend their money in a way that they think makes sense and that they think is the best for them and whatever they want to do. And I think what we're beginning to see is that people are no longer interested in just getting the newest thing from Apple anymore. Kind of a weird spot, but to see a discount across the board, a B&H, and Amazon, and I saw a few other sites, I can't name them off the top of my head, but they are reducing the prices. I believe those are normally just corporate reductions. When I worked at retail, there were reductions that were sent down from like big companies that would just be like, this is the price of this product. We're reducing it not because of our inventory, but this was a corporate discount. And I imagine since we saw a price decrease on all of those sites, that it's probably something sent down from Apple saying, reduce the price of this product by this much money on your site. And it's weird. Apple doesn't offer discounts hardly ever. So to see them offer a discount on a product that's pretty much brand new, and see them offer discounts on a lot of products and sort of step back and be like, oh, maybe let's make a 10 again. It's weird. It's a weird Apple this year. It almost looks like they're lost with their pricing. They're like, oh no, we can't price stuff that high. We just can't. No one's buying it anymore. I don't know. I could be dead wrong. I've been wrong once. Twice in my whole life. I've been wrong 2 times. So I think maybe I might be wrong on this. It would make the third, which would be really shocking to me. But I wouldn't be surprised if in 2018, maybe we don't see price decreases, but we might see the price just not increase. There's no real justification for the price increases in a lot of these products. Kind of weird, I guess. So I think what we're looking at is a new Apple in 2019. This Apple was a confused Apple, and I think they learned a lot this way. Lessons are normally learned in the hard ways. You see their stock dip, not totally on their products, but that has to be part of it. It can't just be solely based on like people are afraid of Apple and they're like, oh my gosh, this huge company that's always been successful is going to start failing. But I think part of it has to do with the products and the pricing, and they're scaring people away from spending thousands of dollars on their products that people normally used to be happy to spend the money on. But I guarantee you we see a different Apple this year. We saw an Apple that released a new MacBook Air and then didn't lower the price of the old MacBook Air. That doesn't make any sense to me. I guess that's another video for another day. But I guarantee you we see a different Apple because they were different this year. They weren't that like, this is what you're going to do, this is how you're going to do it, and you're going to pay us this much money for it. They were sort of like, okay, we're going to release 2 flagship phones like we normally do. But, you know, then we're going to offer like a discount phone because we're not sure if everyone's going to buy the flagship phones. So it's a weird Apple this year. I don't know. I could be dead wrong. I've been wrong, like I said twice before. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Is Apple, like, what are they doing? Like, what's going on with Apple right now? They seem kind of lost. And I'm not just talking about this one price decrease. I'm talking just in general with their whole pricing. Their pricing strategy is confusing, I guess is what I would say. That's probably a good way to do it. It's like they keep increasing their prices for no real viable reason, I guess is how I would describe it. And they've priced themselves out of the market for a lot of people. I mean, for a powerful pro computer in 2018, why is their laptop so much money? I mean, you're talking about thousands of dollars for a base model of their 15-inch. I know that their products have always been expensive. I understand that. But this Apple seemed to go just a little bit too far this year. I think consumers are getting annoyed and they're catching on. I hope I wasn't out of focus this whole time. I've been looking at it and I cannot tell. It's not supposed to be, but who knows. I'm Scott with Techno Eclipse. If you liked the video, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button and hit the like button and then leave a really nice comment and then, you know, maybe send me a Western Union check for $10,000. Just whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to do. But also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter because sometimes I tweet. I'll see you guys in the comment section. And 55 subs away from 1,000. You guys are nuts. Peace out.